Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Fluxx, the board game. But not only is it Fluxx, the board game, but it's Fluxx, the board game, the compact edition. The regular edition was a pretty much mid-sized box, which is much larger than this one. So this one is a no airspace game, so this is really nice for storage and everything else, but it has everything the original game had in it. So this game here, just so you know, has been published by Ludi Labs Games, and it plays between 2 to 4 players. It also takes about 15 to 45 minutes. I normally found that it's about 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a little faster, especially once you've learned the rules to it. And oddly enough, there's a little less fluctuation in playtime as you would have with normal Fluxx. So what I want to do is I want to go down to the table here. I'm going to give you a really quick general overview of how the game plays, just go over the highlights of it, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Fluxx, the board game. And Fluxx, the board game, if you've played Fluxx, you'll be at home with this game. However, it is different. First of all, you have a board, which you didn't have before, and all the rules are modified here. So you're not going to have a stack of rules. These pegs are going to go up and down throughout the game. Now, to set up the game, you're going to place the peg on the one spot on each of these, and the no for each of these additional things that you could possibly do. And on here, you're going to change it to 3 goals to win the game. So that's going to be your starting for those. You'll also put the start tile out, and then you'll randomly place the rest of the tiles around it. After you've done that, each player is going to pick whatever color they want, and notice that these are cards, so the player is going to pick yellow. There's cards in the game that will switch the colors, so keep that in mind. You could lose your player color to another player throughout the game. Each player is going to draw 3 cards, and then whoever says they want to go first will go first in this game. What you'll do before the start of the first round is each player has the opportunity to up one of these rules. So if the first player wants to increase the draw limit to 1, they'll be able to do that. And this is just before the game actually starts. They don't get to do this per round, but just once. So once each player has decided what rules they want to modify, one of them, before the game starts, and they can only move them up, they can't move them down, you're going to do what the rules say. So if it's my turn and I said I want to go first, and I'm first, here I would draw 2 cards. Then I get to play up to 1 card. So I'm going to draw 2 cards, and I can play a card. So I'm going to take a look in here. Now you'll notice that there's no keepers. Instead, in this game, there's leapers. So keepers in the original game were things that you put out to meet goals. Here, you are trying to go to these different locations with these pictures. And if you're on the right locations and you have 3 pieces to do that, you will gain that goal immediately, even if it's not your turn. And I'm going to show you moves in a second, but if you play a leaper, so if I play Leaper Dreams, I would play the card, discard the card, and let's say I'm the yellow player. We'll get rid of all these other ones right now. I'm the yellow player. I get to leap to that spot. Now, if someone is there, you will eject them right back to the start square. Normally, you would bump them, which I would go over here in a second, but in this case, you will sort of sorry style them back to their starting spot. Now, where is that picture? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so I place that there. That's leapers. The other thing you can do is you can do action cards, and actions just do what they say, like taxation. Each player must choose 1 card from their hand and give it to you. So you can play your action cards. You can change rules. So if I change rules here, player's choice, shift any peg you want, forward or backwards, 1 notch on the pegboard. This card gets discarded. In the past, they would actually be a pile of rule cards. Instead, I would actually adjust this. So other things that you can do when they get unlocked is you can rotate tiles. So I can rotate the tile here. I can uproot tiles, so I can take a tile and place it anywhere I want as long as the board's still all connected. And I can wrap. So if I have wrap around set, when I do my movement, which I'm going to show you here now, let's say I had a piece here, I could jump it over here so the board all wraps around. Now, after you've played your cards, you get to do the movement. So if the movement's at 2 right here, so that's going to be how many moves I get, and it can go up to 5. And when you do moves, you just simply move your tokens where you want to on here. So I have up to 2 movement points. Now, these spaces with pictures on it, only 1 token can be there at a time. Pictures without spaces, or spaces with these little octagons on it, can have any number of pieces on it. Also, you can only have 1 piece on these warp tiles. But we'll go over warp tiles real quick soon. But if I move a piece here to where another piece is, this is fine because it allows any. But if I move it to this pizza, I get to bump, so the green player gets to bump this player into any spot they want. And we're trying to position ourselves here on the board to meet any goal cards that get put out. So if I have this goal card out here, I'm going to want to be in those 2 party spaces to be able to claim it. If new gold cards come out, they do not replace the previous gold card. Instead, they come on top of it. So if someone claims this one, the next one down is available. And that's how those goals work. Now, I wanted to talk about these teleportation spots. So if I move here, I instantaneously go to the other teleport spot. Bumping rules do apply for those. And that's how the teleportation spots work. Now, another note that I wanted to give you here is I might have illegally moved some of these here because you have to follow the start. So if I go here, I can only go here on this tile. If I want to go here, I can only go here on this tile. Same in there, so you have to follow those arrows. The game is going to continue until someone meets the prerequisite for goal cards, and they will automatically win the game instantaneously at that point. This can be increased with cards, so I can move this all the way up to 6 goals before you win. But goals are a little easier to get, and you can have a little bit more strategy with this because you have all this movement of your pieces to try to align yourself. And if you can remember what's under here, you can sort of get yourself ready to automatically claim a goal maybe when another player claims a goal above it or whatnot. So that's basically it. Those are the different things you can do with the board game. I believe I went over the card types. Like, yeah, new rules will adjust the pegboard. They don't, and everything gets discarded. Leapers are keepers in the base game, but they actually just move you to that spot. You have 3 pawns available. Goal cards will get placed on this goal board right here, and they go over top of the previous one, and they can be claimed on any instantaneously when anyone meets them in another turn, so you can accidentally bump someone to actually claim a goal. And yeah, that's about it. That's going to be how you're going to play, in a very quick nutshell, Fluxx the board game. Let's go ahead, back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this. Okay, so that was Fluxx the board game, compact edition. Now, if you played the original Fluxx, the board game, this is the same thing. There's a couple nuancey changes. Some things are cosmetic too, like they fixed the pegboard because there was an issue with the pegboard with the original board game. That's fixed in this. This game here, component quality is great. Same great component quality as the original game. Great card quality. The cards are going to last a really long time. Really thick board for cardboard for the boards, and really nice pegboards and the goal boards. Really, really nice. So component quality is great for this game. It's going to last a really long time. Also really like the fact that it fits in this box with no airspace, unlike the original game. And I'm really glad that they sort of, made the compact edition. And this was, if you don't have either and you would like this one, I would highly recommend the compact one over the original, unless you can get the original really cheap because it's, believe, out of print. And it is the same game. So that's component quality, is my general thought on the size of the game. But overall, this game I actually like better than the normal Fluxx. I think this one here lends to a little bit, it's still chaotic, so don't get me wrong at all. This is still a chaotic game. However, it does lend a little bit more to strategy and how you move your pieces out when you play your different cards, if you switch those colors and stuff. And having the goal cards stack up is really cool because you can plan out to maybe like pick off a couple of them because people forgot what was underneath, and they win that goal card, you get a goal card. So that's stuff. I like the fact that it's going to be more than one goal card, and even with that, this game is pretty quick because you're going to be positioning yourself on the board that you can probably get goal cards, knock them off pretty quickly. I really like that they offloaded the action or the rules onto that board, and that is wonderful. It's really nice not having to have those cards out and have to track anything. You can just look at that board, cleanly tells you everything that you can do and can't do, and keeps the board state really, really nice. Overall, this is a wonderful, wonderful game. If you like Fluxx, you're going to probably love Fluxx the board game. If you don't like Fluxx, you might want to try this one. This may change your mind on Fluxx. It might. If you don't like chaotic games, there's no such thing as a Fluxx you're going to like. However, if you're okay with a little chaos, but you just want a little bit more from the card game, like I said, this one is definitely worth checking out. Overall, I was very pleasantly surprised and happy with Fluxx the board game. I think that if someone asks to play Fluxx, this is going to be the number one that I will say, hey, why don't we do this? Because I just like it that much. Super easy to set up, super easy to teach, just like the card game. Really, really wonderful version of Fluxx. So that's my thoughts on Fluxx the board game. Thank you for watching.